What's up on Power Ash Crew? Today's video, well, let's just say we got a problem. I released a video not long ago of you guys showing you how to change out the key cylinder piece. And there it is. Show here. Showed you guys how to change that out, didn't I? Come to find out that wasn't exactly my problem. Did it help for a moment? Yes, but come on. Enough of the gabbing. I'll show you what's up. Now, as you can see, I got the steering column apart again. What happens is up inside here, let me get my flashlight. See that gear system up inside there? What happens is that key, whenever you turn the key to start it, it turns that gear, and if you see a kind of a gear meshing with another rack gear up on top. So what happens is when you turn your key, it turns the round gear, pushes the top gear, or that rack system, it pushes down on a rod, which pushes down into your ignition switch, and which makes all the electrical stuff happen. This side up here with your key, it's all mechanical stuff. It has nothing to do with electrical whatsoever. Your switch is actually down in the bottom of the column. So what happens every time I turn my key, that rack on top goes upward, and every now and then those teeth jump out of line every so often, and which therefore makes my ignition, well, let's just say I couldn't turn my Jeep off the other day. That was an issue. So what it does when you turn that key, it pushes down, the gear turns, pushes down that rack, which pushes down your ignition switch, which enables the start mode, which turns your starter over, puts you in run mode, which energizes your ignition system, your relays for your fuel pump, and for your computer box and stuff. Then, of course, you got the power for your dash and your radio and stuff. That all runs through that one switch. So what was happening, I'd turn the key to start it, drive down the road, no problem. I'd go turn it off, and sometimes I had to keep messing with the key and pulling it back and finding a sweet spot to where I could pull the key. I mean, it just started to become a pain. I'm like, this is just weird. And, well, one of the ladies left from work. She called the dispatch, and dispatch turned and called me on my radio, my walkie-talkie. Says, your lights are on your dash. What? So I got to check, sure enough there was. And I was like, I kept turning the key. I could not get the dash lights to go off. And so I couldn't start it. Then I thought, okay, now I'll turn it back. I couldn't turn my Jeep off. The ignition just kept on running. I could not turn it off. So I had to go outside, pop the hood, and pull the plug off the coil to make the engine turn off. Then my headlights were staying on all the time, or my daytime running lights. They were staying on all the time. So I had to pull the battery post, negative battery post off the battery so I could turn off all my lights. Well, when I got ready to go to work, put the battery back on, put the coil plug back on, fired it up, drove on home, kicked it in neutral when I got home, had to disconnect the battery, shut the vehicle down again. So I thought that this thing was going bad again. Now I discovered that gear and that rack inside there was all jacked up. So hence the point to this video. I'm going to set this thing up where I don't need a key. There is a hidden toggle switch, and I arm that switch, and then it turns, energizes my relay, which then the relay clamps shut, transfers power from the red wire over to the other wires, which allows my ignition to work, allows my radio and my dash lights and all that stuff to work. Then I push my little push button rocker switch, fire it up, and I'm off and rolling. Cool? Cool. Alright, let's watch how it's done. So let me show you guys how to figure out this craziness. Here we have the schematics of a YJ. YJ number 9, ignition switch, page 10, or sheet 10 should I say. And here's your switch. You've got the fat red wire that comes in here that powers this bus bar coming across here that's inside your switch. It's on the lower end of your column. You see right here, 18 gauge yellow goes to your engine starter. Then we got 14 gauge black orange. Stay. Got a little wind going on out here. It comes across here, goes through your fuses here, jumps over here, another black orange. Fuse system to the ABS, which this rig does not have. Air conditioning system, heater blower motor, and to rear wiper system for hardtop rigs, for rigs that come out with hard tops. Then we got A31, 14 gauge black white. Comes over to this little fuse link right here, fuse here, Comes down here to this circuit breaker. Then it comes across to your wiper switch and your wiper motor. And this right here to F30 splice. Interesting. What's an F30 splice? It says sheet 24, which my printer cut it off. Then we go here, splice F30. It goes this way to your ignition switch. It goes this way to your cigar lighter. And then it comes over to this plug box right here that joins into another cigar lighter or to your blower motor. Interesting. Okay. That's above the AC housing. This block is. Okay, interesting. Don't care about that. Now, our other one comes in here. A21 DB dark brown. Comes down here, comes across here, goes into this. Buzzer module. Okay. Links down into here. Daytime running lamps for the Canadian rigs. Comes down into here to this splice, G5. And it comes across to all your gauge clusters across here. Also jumping off here, it comes down through a 10 amp fuse here. Comes down white yellow to a G50 splice. Now, this sheet here, G50 splice. It comes down into, wait a minute, we got some good stuff going here. Automatic shutdown relay, that's important. Comes over here, fuel pump relay, another important one. Now mind you, your main power does not go through these relays. I'm talking your high amperage power. It comes from your battery and through the power distribution block that's right beside your battery. That big block, these are the relays that's plugged into it. All this wire right here does is milliamps, minuscule little amps that triggers the relay that turns this stuff on. Okay, that's all it does. So come down through here, and it's got these blocks here to the heated oxygen sensors, blah, 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 blah. But we got automatic shutdown relay and fuel pump. That's an important circuit there. But here's my problem. Those colors don't mean nothing to me. Only one color, and that's right, one color. Red is the only color that means anything to me, because this wiring schematic right here is for like a 1993 and up, I think. The earlier model rigs had different color coding system going on the switches. So if you don't have the proper colors, what do? Don't make it hard, people. Let's just go old school. Show you how to do it. Well, why do you need to test it? Right there, just a simple piece of wire. Easy peasy. Let's go. The way I've got my wire set up here, I got one end that's stripped probably about 3/8 of an inch. The other end is probably about 1/4 inch, but it really don't matter. As long as you got about 3/8 of an inch to 1/4 inch sticking out, you're good to go. But one end preferably, because it'll hold itself up inside the plug, and I'll show you here in a moment, about 3/8 of an inch, because we're going to shove that up inside there and leave it using this end to touch wires to see what works. Under the dash we go. Oh, I am so right-handed, and I'm holding the camera with my right hand. How the heck am I going to do this? People, the things I do just for the YouTube. Okay, hold on a second. I got to figure this out. Okay, after me pushing a whole bunch of wires around, I think I can work with this. Now, just because it's hard to cram a camera and all this stuff up in here and give you guys a little guidance, I'm going to use my cell phone, and we're going to show you exactly where that switch is at. Floorboard, right here, down, under. It'll come under like this, right. Where's the sweet spot? Come on, camera focus. Right there. Now I got the camera focus. But as you can see, you got the fat red wire, purple wire, yellow wire, and way up top is green wire. So let's test those wires out, see what's one switch. Again, we'll kind of pull back a little bit. There's your steering column, right on top of it. Right there. Again, I'm going to shake my shifter and make sure I am in neutral. For you automatic crew, not a big deal. Okay, remember the wiring schematics on the paper was not correct. So here's a fat red wire right here. Take the longer end of the 3/8 end, stick it up inside there. Now this wire is hot all of the time, okay? So don't let this ground out or you're gonna have an issue. Okay, like I said a moment ago, the green wire, so I'm gonna check this here. The green wire is my starter wire, if I remember right. What should happen when I stick this wire up inside there, you should hear the starter kick in. See? But it's not going to start because I don't have power going to the ignition. So, which leaves purple and yellow. One of these two right here is my ignition wire. Now, I'm not going to move the camera. I'll probably use my cell phone to show you guys what's happening up top. But for right now, let's stick it to the yellow side. Oh, wait a minute. Okay, I'm going to not be running my mouth when I do this and see if the camera sound picks it up. Quietly. Now, listen real close. I don't know if the camera's going to pick it up. If it don't, well, you won't hear this because I'll take it out of the edit. But if you do hear it, you'll hear click, click. It didn't make a sound. But what that was is the relays outside kicking in. So I'm going to come up top. Okay, we got lights going on up here. Well, it just went off, but yeah, this flashed up here. We're good with that now. But will my radio come on? Negative, negative, no radio. So let's check the other side. And by the other side, I mean pull yellow wire. Again, be careful, don't touch your column or anything. This wire is hot. Come over to the purple side. Make sure my fat head held the camera. Oh, we got little sparkies. What do we got? Now before, whenever I turn my key on, these would power up. So which means I got dash lights going now. And over here is check the radio. Do we have it now? Sure enough, we got radio. Sweet. So, what does that tell you? That tells you, that's right. So, if you guessed we got to do both wires, you would be correct. The first wire we touched kicked in the starter. You heard the starter kick in like it wants to spin the engine. Second wire we touched armed the ignition, the relays for the fuel pump, automatic shutdown relay, all that fun stuff. The second wire did that. Third wire we touched was for my dash lights kicking in, was for my radio turning on. So red wire is your power. The other wire we touched for your starter. The other two remaining wires, we got to power both of them at the same time. So how are we going to do that? Let's show you. Yes, it's not hard. It really ain't. We've determined the green wire here, starter, yellow, ignition, purple for our dash lights and radio. So just for kicks and giggles, let's put it back in there. I heard the relays kicking in out there. Right there. Watch this. We got to make sure it's in neutral. Shifter shaking the camera. Arm the switches up here. Ready. Contact. Yay! It runs. It's alive! It's alive! So how do we turn it off now? What are we going to do to turn this thing off? You got any idea what we got to do to turn this off? Watch this. Just turn the ignition off. That's how you straight wire YJ. Okay, let's make the wiring harness and relays. Now the ignition system is all going to be run by a relay. What we got going on here is, I will give you guys a quick summary of the relay posts and stuff, but honestly I've got tons of videos about relays and details, stuff like that. This is as a standard 4-post relay. You got 4-post and 5-post Bosch. You've got post number 30, which is going to go to the red wire. Remember up on the ignition system? That's going to go on the red. This is your positive side of your trigger. This is your negative side. Post 85, post 86. Now I say, negative and positive. Some of it matters, some of it does not. If you look in the middle on the 85 and 86, if it has a little diode symbol, then it matters which side switch. But if you buy a relay that does not have the diode in it, it does not matter which one you wire for your positive and negative. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our positive side, just jump straight off this right here. That's going to go to that red wire, energize it all the time. On this side, we're going to plug it. That gives us a power to the relay for this circuit will come through here. This will go here. And all that is 2 wires, put up a side of a spade connector. You see right there, I've got marked 87A. That'll go on here like that. In post 86, for a rocker switch, what's going to happen is a wire goes from here to there, connecting from here to there. Then over here we got post 86. What's going to happen there? That is going to be our ground. Any type of electrical circuit has to have a hot wire and a ground wire. Okay. The easiest way that I prefer, to tell you that, I prefer wiring relays is a ground side trigger. Meaning, what you do is jump your hot lead off here, right here. This would go directly to your battery or your hot wire all the time. Come up through here, loop another wire out of here, boom, to this side. This gives you hot post over here. This gives you your battery plus. Your ground side here, what we're going to do is put a toggle switch wire here, this side of the toggle switch, out of the toggle switch, and ground it anywhere. It don't matter where, as long as it's grounded to the body. And you can use one of those little bitty tiny rocker switches, or you can use a big one. It doesn't matter, simply because all you're doing is triggering the relay. It's such a minuscule load of power. You can use one of those little 3 amp micro toggle switch to hide it, and it works out great. Actually, that's what I'm doing. This is just an extra toggle switch I'm doing to demonstrate for you guys. But what happened is, okay, this is hot all the time off that red wire up in the switch that I showed you guys just a moment ago when we were testing. This is going to be stuck up inside that. These two ends right here is going to be stuck in those other 2 wires. Remember, one of them is your starter, one of them triggers your ignition, the other wire is for your radio and your dash lights and stuff. So that's going to go up inside that. That's going to split open, coming off of that one there. That'll power each side of those. This will go to your ground. Wire comes off this, into the switch here, out of the switch here, into a ground location anywhere on the body. One flip of the switch will arm your ignition and your dash lights. And then push the button on my push button starter, fire it up. Alright, let's get this baby wired in and we'll show you how it works. Alright, y'all, ready to take it for a test drive? Let's do this. Okay. It should not start because I do not have my switch turned on. See, no start, no start, no start. And see, that's my arming switch right there. I gotta turn that on. But I got a separate video for that setup though. Now, let's turn my rig on. I hit my top secret hidden switch. Arm the starter. Contact. Wooden. No keys needed. Now let's turn it off. That's all you gotta do. Pretty simple. Now I'm gonna turn it back on just to show. I've got the switch tucked way up in there. I got my finger in there. There it goes. Alright, so you see right here, I got these lights right here coming on. Whenever my ignition is armed, I've always had these right here wired for them to come on. Then over here, let me check my radio. We got radio. Now the memory wire itself, the reason it says 87.5, which is not a station around here, I had to unplug my battery, so therefore I wiped all the memory on the radio. But let me turn my key off. Turn my key off, turns the radio off. Of course, these lights right here go out because my ignition's off now. She's all wired up, and it works. So now all I gotta do is put that mess back together. There's another video for that too. Whenever I put that key cylinder in, you guys check it out, and I'll link it up so you guys check it out. Okay, if you guys see right there, and there's the other wires, 2 wire ties. I'm gonna cut the tail off one of them. Stuffed the red wires back up beside the switch. It took a wire tie and pulled them really tight around the original wires, so the wires I added don't slide out. So therefore, you don't have to cut any of your harness. My plans is to be that temporary until I find me another steering column, but who knows? You know how that goes. Anyway, wire tied around the original wires. They'll go nowhere. I've got the relay wire tied to the column. Should be good to go. And that yellow wire goes over to my switch. So there you go. That's how you can wire your ignition under your dash to make the ignition run, the dash and all that stuff, and not even have to use a key. You find no junker YJ, they say, well, I lost the key, I can't get it home. It runs good if you can get it started. No problem. As long as the steering column's not locked. That's kind of a different animal there. You have to go inside the column to take care of all that. So my Power Ass crew, if you learned a little something from that video, hit that thumbs up for me. Subscribe if you haven't. Leave me some cool comments down below. Really appreciate you hanging out. Peace. Later, y'all. Now I got to tie all my wires back up that's hanging down underneath my dash. Peace.